Welcome to the Spit Bucket Hotel Party.
Thanks for joining us.
He's stupid. And then he like puts his finger in his mouth and takes out and it's like a bean skin or something.
I thought I'd burn the roof of my mouth. Let me ask you guys a question. Do you guys be moaning in your girl's ear? No, I'm serious.
While doing it or in general?
Well, I mean, mostly while you're doing it.
Preferably while doing it.
Yeah.
In general, yes.
What about you, Alan? You do that shit?
Yeah, but everything though. When I'm with her, when I'm eating, when I'm running, you know.
Mari, are you allowed to love her?
I don't know if I'm on. I don't, because I think I try to stop myself.
Why would you do that?
Because I feel like I have a gross moan.
It's not gross.
How you know?
Really?
I'm talking about like a guy moan in general. It's not gross.
I think I do, because she's good at it.
Ask her about it.
I recorded myself last time that I made maritals.
Did you really?
Yeah, so I wanted to play it for you guys.
Is
Is this going to be out the headphones? Because it's not going to be funny if we can't hear it.
No, it's going to be here. All right, so I recorded myself,
Did you really?
and this is
He's
for
not
you
gonna
guys.
do it. He's
So
not
let me know if you guys would think that, because I
Swear
need to
God,
stop
it's
myself.
gonna be something
All right.
else. Oh.
That video is actually really sad. I know what it is. See, that's what happens when you watch wrestling.
I fucking
What?
wish.
You do shit like that.
I feel like you don't make noise when you do it. Like, at
No,
all.
I'm quiet as a mouse. If anything, the one noise I make is shh. Welcome to the Spit Bucket, everyone.
Does he ever tell you, like,
She's laughing pretty hard.
That's because it's true.
Honestly, it is low-key kind of true. I wish you were more interactive sometimes.
Yeah, I
I'm
just
over here giving you a fucking show, and I get nothing in return. This man's
It
selfish.
gives you
though.
those closed mouth moans.
That's just me coughing. Well,
Yeah, you should hear him trying to hold in his coughs. He goes,
all right. Welcome to the Spit Bucket, everyone. My name's Omar, and as you can tell, my voice is hecked to all frick. But we wanted to do an episode this week because my fans need me. There's the millions and millions of Spit Bucket listeners, and I couldn't let my sweet babies go a week without listening to me.
You did, though.
What?
You didn't do it last week, right?
No, we did.
the week before.
The week before. But that was out of my control.
but people still give a shit about it, even though it was like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. Stop giving a shit for stuff from before. Anyway, so I'm probably not going to talk that much, but I'll talk until I can't talk no more because I love you guys. Psych. Anyway. All right. Joining me at the table. I'm fine. Joining me at the table is the beautiful Erik Mendoza.
Should I eat one of these ranches?
What?
No?
No, don't.
No? Okay.
I will say all you boys are very handsome. So
Hey.
Omar's not lying.
Since we haven't done an Eric's ASMR corner in a while, can you just like put the mic up to the ranch and just like sip on it a little bit? Here he goes. The ranch up to his lips. Oh, he was eating wings.
That's some good ranch.
Nice. Also at the table with her new fucking glasses. First she was new boo goofing, now she's new glasses goofing. It is Jam. Ginto.
Dude, I can see so good now. Nobody better fuck with me and my good vision.
How many glasses you got?
I got 4 of them.
You got 4 of them?
I got 4 of them.
She still can't do math, but now she can see the numbers better.
Dude, y'all ever... Okay, and I know y'all are also bad vision people, but y'all know that feeling
Who?
after a new prescription, and you put on your glasses and you're like, dude, I could see, like, textures on leaves.
Yeah.
And I could see the blades of grass and the gravel, dude.
It's like crack for your eyeballs.
I know.
It's like...
really nice.
It's euphoric, really.
Sometimes I put on my old prescription so I can go back to my new one.
It's just to
Feel
get
alive
official.
Just to
again.
relive it.
Yeah, so my eyes get fucked up and then I put my new ones on. I was like, wow.
With these glasses, it took me a week to get used to them because they were like a big jump in prescription.
Damn.
Oh, we have
My
the
sh-
same
My
glasses.
shit was hurting, boy.
Yeah, I was feeling fine at home yesterday. This is my second day with him, and it wasn't until we got to Target that I was getting dizzy, boy.
Well, I don't know anything about that. I've always just had perfect eyes. Someone who wasn't as blessed. Alan Mendoza at the table.
Hello. You know that eye doctor thing? Since you don't know anything about it, you know how when they dilate your eyes, it's excruciating to like go outside and drive back home.
You know they don't do that anymore.
Oh well, they did that to me recently.
They have like
I had to pull over to the side of the road
Wait,
because
really?
like my
Just
face,
cry?
I couldn't keep my eyes
Yeah,
open.
I remember that. I actually remember driving home from that too. I was like crying the whole way home. I was like, I'm gonna make it home, and I was like,
That's what I said. I was on 41. And I'm like, I can't stop
I was
driving.
literally like, damn, I probably look like I'm actually crying to these people, but it's just like the sun's hurting my eyes like that. And I was crying. I was like,
I went to Vision Works and the guy he was like offering me that like to check for like whatever the hell, and it was like an extra $40 charge. I said nah, just give me a basic eye exam. But he told us
He said, "Yep, they're there.
he told me
$30, please."
he told me that they don't do it that way anymore. Where because before you're like in pain and your pupils were dilated for a long ass time. Then now they could give you like drops and it goes back to normal.
Well,
so I think y'all got bamboozled.
The whole eye doctor scene is just a big rip.
You need more glasses, hit me up. I got a girl who works with glasses.
And also at the table
What?
with the glasses hookup,
What?
Mario.
What up, skinny dicks?
How do you know?
Yeah, let me see. Whoop them out.
Omar, let me see your dick, bro. I know you got nudes.
All right, here we go. Wham!
You got a big dick?
Yeah. You?
I got big ass balls, though.
All right, so by the time you guys are listening to this, Jam's birthday is in 2 days. So make sure to go to the spitbucketpod@gmail.com
Wait, when's
and
the
send
me your ball
her
pics.
pictures of your balls. That's all she wants for her birthday.
It's the 15th.
So what we normally do on the Spit Bucket is talk about some fucking news stories from around the world. But I got kind of like a weird catch-up. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I haven't looked at this, so I don't know if it's any good. But we're about to find out together. So remember a while back, we talked about the dwarf who was passing as like a 9-year-old child. But she was...
that orphan story.
It was like the orphan, but IRL.
I'm
Yeah.
excited. Yes.
Okay, so...
Dude, I saw a photo of that girl. She does not look like a little kid.
No, she doesn't.
She's
She
being
does not.
interviewed by Dr. Phil, and she's speaking like a full adult. And
Okay, that's the interview that I found.
Is she not in like prison?
No,
I don't
she's
know.
literally like in front of Dr. Phil. Like, how old is she supposed to be? 9?
Yeah, so...
She's talking like a fucking 22-year-old.
How old is she?
which is how old she was supposedly. Last time we left off, so for those of you who haven't listened to this story before, was that some family adopted what they thought was like a 9-year-old girl, and then
Hold on, I'm sorry. I tried to put a cookie in my mouth and it landed on Mabel's back.
ew, it's all matted in there. Ew, I can't believe you ate that shit. All right, so a family adopted what they thought was like a 9-year-old girl. And then the mom eventually is like, why does everyone think she's 9? She's actually a 22-year-old dwarf from, like, the Soviet Union. We're like, what? That country doesn't exist anymore. She's like, Ukraine. Anyway.
Wait, what?
Is the Soviet Union not just Russia?
Not anymore.
Oh, man, I'm ignorant as fuck. Holy shit.
So then the family ended up getting her own apartment, and her age legally changed to 22. So they got her an apartment, and then everyone in the family moved to Canada and left her there by herself. And then once the story kind of came out, people went to go like find her at her apartment, and she was just gone. And that's where we left the story off, with this in quotes murderous little person on the loose finally popped back up and did an interview. So let's check this shit out.
Now with that wild story about an Indiana couple charged with abandoning their adopted daughter who has a rare form of dwarfism. They say she's really an adult con artist who threatened them, and now the adopted daughter is speaking out for the first time in an exclusive interview with Dr. Phil.
She doesn't look like a
He's
girl,
going to join us
like a little
live
girl.
after this report from Paula Ferris.
I guess it comes down to whether or not you are an evil psychopath demon child that's come over here to
Damn.
This morning,
She looks like a
Natalia,
hag.
the girl at the center of that adoption scandal, is speaking out for the first time.
There's been a lot of controversy.
Keep in mind, she's supposed to be
obviously,
9. Listen to her
about your
talk.
age because of the family that you were with before. How old are you?
I'm 16.
You're 16?
No, 16.
Yes.
Everyone was wrong.
Former adoptive parents
Nah,
Michael and
she's
Christy
not.
Barnett are now facing jail time after being charged with neglect for allegedly abandoning Natalia.
They say that you scammed them, that you lied about your age and came over here and terrorized them.
It's not true at all. They both pleaded not guilty and say they believed she was 6 years old when they adopted her in 2010, but soon after, they began questioning Natalia's age.
The Marion County Superior Court ruled that her birth year would be changed from 2003 to 1989, effectively changing her from 8 to 22 years old.
Oh, shit.
Michael Barnett recently told us Natalia was trying to harm them.
Natalia would do things like place clear thumbtacks on the stairs, face up.
They make those?
Walk up the stairs.
We have
would
those.
be stepping
Oh, we do.
thumbtacks to pain and injure ourselves.
But
That's just
Natalia,
fun.
who suffers from a rare form of dwarfism, is now sharing her side of the story with Dr. Phil.
Why did they want to get rid of you so badly?
I don't know. I just know that a lot of stuff happened, and Christine started questioning my age.
Natalia, who spoke with her...
So wait,
she's
how old is she then?
She says she's 16.
There's no way.
When they adopted her, they thought she was 9, but she actually wasn't.
Oh, I thought
So
she was
whatever.
6.
Yeah. All right. Well, case is, no one knows how old she is. But if she speaks so clearly, like my whole thing was, I thought because she's from a different country, so I'm like, maybe she's got an accent, and they're just like, we don't understand you. Maybe that's how they confuse her age. But clearly, she's speaking properly.
Yeah.
Why was there ever confusion
sounds
about
like
it?
just an annoying, like,
16-year-old.
They claim that they did bone scans and all that. I don't remember going through a bone scan. I remember going through a bone scan in Michigan.
And the bone scan in Michigan said she was 14.
I even have paperwork saying that.
And says she never tried to harm the Barnetts.
Did you ever stand at the foot of their bed, around their bed, in their room, watch them sleep with a knife in your hand?
No, never.
Did you ever want
She looks like
to
she'd do that.
stab them?
No.
Here's what I think happened, right? They adopted a little dwarf, and then they realized they adopted a dwarf, and they were like, I don't want this thing. and they got rid of her. But I also think that she's fucking lying about her age, and she was like, I'm a dwarf. I'm never going to get adopted because no one's going to want me for being a dwarf.
Especially if I'm like 14.
Yeah. So let me just pretend I'm this age when I'm really not. So I think they both try to con each
Everyone's
other.
just goofing on each
Yeah.
other. That would make sense. Someone's lying completely.
Yeah.
So
and it's both of them.
Probably
Either
Dr. Phil, too. I think he's lying.
so either she would stand on the edge of their bed with a knife, or someone's making shit up about her completely. Could you imagine being in her shoes, where you're like, I'm just a dwarf kid who needed to get adopted, and they're telling people that I'm trying to stab them.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever had, like, that situation where,
A dwarf tried
out
to
of
stab me?
context to your parents, it probably looked really fucking creepy?
I've scared the shit out of my mom before. Whenever I used to get nightmares as a kid before I stopped dreaming completely, and I would go to my parents' room, but I would always I didn't want to wake them up, but I wanted them to know that I had a nightmare and that I was afraid. So there was one time where I went in, I stood at the foot of the bed, and I just stared at them waiting like, wake up, wake up. But all I did was just tap their toe just a little bit.
Ugh.
But it was at night. So she wakes up and I see her jump. Because there's just a silhouette at the end of her bed.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Nasty. There was once where my mom was asleep. It was nighttime. My mom was asleep on the couch. For some reason, I didn't think... I went into the bathroom to get a Q-tip, clean out my ear. I didn't think to stay in the bathroom to clean my ear out, but I left the door open and the light was on in the bathroom. So there was just me, looming over her on the couch and just going like this. And then I saw her, she was on her side, and then she, I saw her eyes open a little bit, and then open more, and then she, looked up very slowly. She's like, what are you doing? I'm like, nothing. And I just, threw it away.
That's also a problem, though, because that was at your haunted house.
That was at my haunted
So
house.
I'd be afraid, too.
Because Oliver's done that to me before. He scared me a few times. But this was back when he was not able to speak or really move around. All he could really do was just get up and say goo goo gaga and all that. So there's been
How old
times-
is he?
Right now he's 4, but this was...
Are you sure?
This is... Yeah, positive. So there's been times because he slept... He didn't like sleeping in the crib. So he slept with us for the first year and a half. There's been times where I wake up and he's just sitting, not making any noise, because this was around the time where if he wasn't asleep, he was crying about something. So I'd wake up and he just would be sitting perfectly still, just looking at me from across a couple feet out from the bed, and I'm like, huh. I was like, that's weird.
Did it actually freak you out?
A little bit, because it was concerning more of just to see an infant that calm. in the middle of the dark, and all you could really see was like half of his facial expressions from the moonlight and just the white of his eyes looking into mine. And I'm like,
that's scary.
I'm like, oh,
Dude,
okay.
Sometimes Mabel does that too, where where we see her in the shadows just staring at us. We're like, what the fuck are you doing?
And
we'll be at the kitchen table, and let's say no one else is home, and we'll just have the one light on in the kitchen. And we kind of like look up at each other and we feel like something's looking at us. And we look over and Mabel's sitting at the top of the stairs in the darkness just watching us eat.
Let me get some of that yum yum.
Speaking of your son, has there been an update to your house? Last time?
Stopped.
It stopped completely?
No, actually, so you know what? I didn't tell you guys this.
Oh, no.
I had a big final, like, the final movie scene in, like, a horror movie. Something like that similar happened. So after, I want to say this was a week after Oliver saw that or felt that ghost in the bathroom, I was in the kitchen, and it was like 3:18, so it was getting close to like spooky hours. And I was there eating some food, and like I just got off of work. I was wide awake, and I was walking around because, in my defense, I was pretty high, and I had this tendency of pacing around when I am. So I'm there, kind of like grabbing food, picking stuff up, washing dish like here and there, and just kind of walking around the kitchen, keeping myself busy.
Actively high.
Yes. Out of nowhere, I put some dishes away. I close the cabinet door, and I walk away, and I hear like a bump inside the fridge, and I'm like, what the hell was that? And I opened it, and nothing was there. And as soon as I closed the...
Wait, all your food was gone?
All the food was still there.
Okay.
All my beer was intact, so there was no concern. So, as I'm closing the fridge door, I hear the same knock inside of the cabinets where I keep all the cups.
Oh, that's not good.
And I'm like, this can't be happening. So I opened it, and nothing was there. And I closed it, and as soon as I closed it, the drawer that's right in front of like my waist like kicks itself open.
Dude.
And I'm like, this isn't happening. No. And I close it, and I walk away, and then I hear one of the cats go crazy inside of the living room, like where the big TV's at. So like I go around, and the whole time I'm like, nope, this isn't happening. And then I go around because one of the cats started freaking out. And I look inside that's the thing. So I was in the kitchen, I make that turn into the living room, and the cats aren't there. So
all this is happening like one thing after
this
the
all
other?
happened, back to back for about 30 seconds, but it felt like a lifetime. And I was like, this can't be happening. And then like I go into the kitchen, the light turns off.
Has that ever happened before?
Never. So like this, in the movies they have the big final like fuck you, like the ghost throws everything they have. It was more like a Casper version, like Casper, because it wasn't doing anything violent, but something was very, very clearly messing with me, and I'm like. And I didn't tell anybody for about a week.
That sounds like right the point before the jump scare in a movie.
Yeah.
Lights go off, and then it's just quiet.
But it's so weird.
And then you expect something to happen.
I felt something was there, even though I kept denying it for so long. And then when I went up to my room, I had like all my food, I had my drink, and I closed the door. And it's so
Ghost
weird
can't get me in my room.
And that's what ended up happening, because I can't even explain the feeling that I felt, but as soon as I closed the door and I like turned around into my room, it felt like my anxiety, like all the fear, all the questions of what the fuck just happening went away. Like I felt something leave, not just me, but like the area, and I'm like, okay, I'm good now. And then I remember thinking about it the next couple of days. Even though that was terrifying, I'm really glad I got to experience that, because that's something that I'm gonna remember for the rest of my life.
So with the lights turning off, was it the lights that just turned off, or did the switch actually flip?
That light is controlled by two different switches, so like, there's no real on and off. Like if one turns on, you can turn it off with the other, or so the switches are always kind of messed up.
Oh, so you can't even tell for sure.
So I don't know if it was lifted up or not, because whatever way I flicked that switch, it would have turned back on.
Damn.
So,
and where was the other switch? Were you sure?
So one switch.
Was there anyone else home that could have flipped it?
There was one person home at the time, but they were upstairs asleep.
Oh.
And I know because I was in the kitchen for a couple hours before I went upstairs, because I got off at like 1:30.
I know because I was in their room.
So it turns out I'm busy now and I can't make it to that party.
No, but here's the thing. After that,
I'm sorry.
The one that's going to be in Alan's house.
Yeah.
That was the big final thing, I feel, because now nothing is happening. Either because like spooky season ended, or that was just the final like showing something's presence.
Frick the rules.
And then that's it. Like nothing has happened since.
And how long has that been now?
It's been about, I would say like 2 weeks since something's happened.
That's pretty recent, dog.
Give it another week.
Too recent for me.
Mario, what
put
if
its
you go
2-week notice in?
over to his house and you're like, can I use your bathroom? He's like, yes. You go to the bathroom, use it, you have a hard time flushing, but it finally goes down. Wash your hands. turn around, you walk out, and you open the door, and it's like the whole Silent Hill thing, where it's just like fog,
Like
and
ashes?
and you just.
I'm gonna kill myself. I'm just gonna end it right there. I don't want to deal with
Like,
anything.
first option, kill myself.
I can't
That's
do
my
it.
boy.
I'm out of shape. I know I'm not gonna survive.
Yeah, that pyramid thing's gonna come after you. I used to have nightmares about that.
Same here. I like
nightmares.
like
I
coming
would cry.
through the door or turning the corner.
Yep,
like
I would. Yeah,
that's my nightmare.
Let's we got a little bit left on this story. We'll see if we learn anything else new.
America, Paula Ferris, ABC News, New York.
Thanks, Paul, for that. We're joined now by Dr. Phil McGraw. Boy, Phil, what a strange, tortured
boy's sick.
story. So hard to sort through.
It really is, and it's interesting, but the family, the Barnetts, got an apartment, paid up the rent for an extended period of time, gave her some food stamps, and left her there. And whether she's 8 or 16 at the time, she didn't have the ability to reach the countertops. She didn't have the ability to
That's true.
move around, go to the store, or whatever. So she was just abandoned. But they say that she tried to poison the mother with bleach, push her into an electric fence, tried to kill her.
Those thumbtacks on the stairs.
Yes, and
Maybe she's just a hardcore wrestler.
that she was
Maybe.
set up, that they absolutely conspired to set her up. In fact, she says that with regard to the bleach, that her mother accused her of trying to put this cleaner in her coffee. She denied it, and her mother said, yes, you did it like this. Let me show you. And she had her actually go through the act and took a picture of her when she was role-playing it and said, now I've got a picture of you doing it. So she's very specific about how it happened.
Wow.
Wow.
I'm starting to.
I think that's where we'll that's most of the video. It's just him talking to Dr. Phil.
So it could be the mom who's crazy.
It could be the mom, and she's the one who wrote a book about like having her autistic son be really good at math. Maybe he's not good at math either.
I don't know what to think anymore, because like I did see that video when you sent it to the group chat, and the way she's explaining off some of the things, I'm like, okay, that kind of makes sense. But really, the only way it could be believable is if the mom was just imagining all of this in her head. Or
That's
maybe,
true. Or is Natalia just working everyone?
I don't know, because I
scared.
see both ways.
You see both.
Something's going on here for sure. Something is going on.
I think they're both fucked, like I said in the beginning, and I'm never wrong, so I'm right.
What?
Spoken like a true man. Am I right?
All right, and that's all I got for you guys
Right.
with this catch-up story. I think it's still like kind of up in the air, or are we kind of saying it's the mom? Do you think you could fight her?
Who? The girl, Natalia?
Yeah.
Maybe.
But real question though, they said that she couldn't reach the cabinets and stuff. All right, this is just my ignorance, but how do little people drive full-size cars?
Pedal extenders?
Yeah.
Pedal extenders.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it like stilts? But
They're essentially stilts, but they're not connected to the actual person. They're connected to the pedals of the car.
and that works just fine.
Yeah.
But how do they see over the steering wheel?
With booster
Because if they
seats.
gotta sit,
Okay, it's got to be like some kind of cushioner there. Because I know Monica. She has a car, but she needs.
is she legally
pedals.
little?
She's not that little, to be honest. I want to say she's like 5'6", 5'7".
Wait, what the hell?
No.
How?
Is she shorter than me?
She's taller than you.
She's taller.
Well, she's not that much.
Well, she's not. Well,
that would be like an inch shorter than me.
She's a little over. She's a little over my shoulder. But the whole point is she has a car that she needs pedal boosters because she can't. Her foot doesn't press the clutch all the way.
Whoa.
So
What?
like, there's like a 3-inch rubber pad that's like on her pedals, so she can reach it. But she can see over the steering wheel.
So from like hip to head, she's 4 feet, and then from legs, she's just got 1 foot legs.
Sure.
And that's how the ratio works
Yeah,
out.
and there's no kneecaps either.
Let's move to our next story.
All right. This one might just be a quickie. TSA flags woman with 20 bags of flaming hot Cheetos in duffel bag.
Is that my girlfriend?
She likes hot Cheetos that much?
Oh my god. I think she bought a Hot Cheeto sweater the other day.
Is she a Mexican?
Oh, from Forever 21.
Yeah, man.
Dude, I've seen those low key, kind of cute, but
Yeah.
I don't know if I could.
Why
I
would
don't know
you-
if I could.
Why'd you let her
She
buy
does.
that?
Well, she doesn't like. Well, I don't have to let her do anything, Eric.
Yeah, first of all,
I'm just saying.
Second of all,
Other than speak,
yeah, other than speak, but she ain't here, and she don't like fast fashion, so she doesn't like Forever 21. But I think she loves Hot Cheetos, and I'm pretty sure she bought the sweater. I'm not 100% sure.
so
How
every
do you
time
know
you
she didn't just make one out of hot Cheeto bags?
I mean, she could. She can make clothes. She made me my shirts, and she fixes my pants and stuff.
Wow,
What the hell? That's so cute.
That's cute as fuck.
Hey, so if I want to do a cosplay, can she help me out?
Yeah, she could. She probably have you guys. Yeah, you guys have seen her. But have you seen her her Deadpool bag? She's brought it to a couple of shows.
I might have seen it. If it was over here by the amp, I might have seen it.
Yeah, she made that.
That's
She
awesome.
can make you your Sonic costume. No, wait, who was the one who wanted the Sonic costume? You did.
I didn't want that.
He doesn't want that.
You want that for him.
I thought we were dressing as Sonic characters for ASEN.
I thought we said
We're
My
doing
Hero
that for the movie.
Academia.
Yeah, My Hero Academia
Oh,
for
did we say
ASEN,
that?
and then Sonic for the movie.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
that's right. That's right.
Can she make me look like Kirby?
Just wear a pink suit. Oh, you want to be a freaky Kirby? I've seen people wear pink suits and then just like draw the eyes on their stomach. And stuff.
You're too
That
brown
freaks
for
me
that
out.
shit, dude.
Got him.
Now he's got to get a morph suit.
Sorry for interrupting.
No, it's okay. The TSA clearly takes the Cheetos slogan dangerously cheesy.
Oh,
Seriously.
man.
Social media star says she was flagged by a transportation agent.
I immediately, after you said that sentence, don't believe the story anymore.
Transporting multiple duffel bags of Flamin' Hot Cheetos through security. I looked up this duffel bag that they have in the picture. It's a Louis Vuitton duffel bag coming in at $5,000.
Holy
And it's full of hot
shit.
Cheetos.
It's this one full of hot
The
fucking Cheetos.
shitty Hot Cheetos.
Shitty.
Man.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm
What are
sorry.
you talking about?
Hot Cheetos are good.
Only the jalapeno ones
Must
are
be
good.
nice.
Those are fucking disgusting.
You're nasty.
I only
I'm
fuck with
cutting
Hot
the
Cheeto
feed.
Puffs exclusively.
I
fuck with
I
hot-
like the
no.
popcorn ones. My bad.
Oh,
The
popcorn ones are
popcorn?
good too.
Hell yeah.
I only fuck with hot Cheeto Puffs and regular cheese Cheeto Puffs if I leave them out for like a day and let them
They
stay
get kind of
up.
hard?
Yeah.
Did you guys ever try
What's wrong with you
the
guys?
Astros, the one that were in the pods?
I bought
Yeah, they
the
brought
whole
those
box
back.
at Walgreens.
Yeah, they brought 'em back.
I went
They
to
don't taste good.
Walgreens and they had them, and I bought the whole box.
They don't taste
No one's
good.
getting any of these.
You know what's missing? It's the fact that they're tiny. But like
They're just
they're
Cheeto
like
Puffs
they're
with
like
balls.
this
That's
small, and
literally
they used
it.
to be like nickel size.
The
Like,
best,
big.
the best Cheetos they've ever had are the vampire fangs that they only
Oh.
sell in Mexico. Those are the best ones. They're like
Dude.
chili lime
Yeah, I know what
in
you're
a
talking
purple
about.
bag.
Uh-huh.
Those they don't.
Have you guys had those before?
They don't
That sounds vaguely familiar.
Actually, if I'm pretty sure if you go to like a
My mom's in Mexico right now. I'll tell her to find me some.
Why am I struggling?
Mercado?
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 Anyway, yeah, they probably have because you know how they import chips from Mexico. They'll
Uh-huh.
probably have it there because that's where you could get the sal and limon.
Yeah, so like
Fritos.
they'll ship over like chips that are exclusive to Mexico. So I have to go to the Mexican stores to go find the lime and salt Fritos.
Do you guys remember in high school the one girl who would always have hot Cheetos and what was it?
And would be screaming during zero or first period.
Yeah.
Man,
What's the combination? Hot Cheetos and what for breakfast?
it was brisk, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hot
I think
Cheetos
so.
and brisk.
Damn,
Like them
I
bitches
did
were always
that.
screaming.
I
You
used to
did
do
that?
Not the screaming, but I used to eat hot Cheetos and brisk.
The same bitches that would come in with like their things of brisk are the same bitches that would come in late afterwards once they could start driving with their coffee. Same energy.
You're right.
But yeah, that was about it. This bitch had 20 bags of hot Cheetos and several of these $1,000 worth of duffel bags, all because she was going to South Korea and they're scarce there.
I don't blame her. Have you guys ever
Must
been?
be nice to be living that life.
Right? Like that's
Fuck.
a fuck you money.
I wish
dude.
that was the only fucking issue or problem that I was having right now. Just how am I going to get my hot Cheetos to like Korea?
South Korea. Depending on what airline, sometimes you don't even get a bag for free. So she would have to pay extra just to get her hot Cheeto bags, her 4 bags of just hot Cheetos over there. But have you guys traveled and been stopped by TSA or anything like that
Yeah,
before?
one time they just had an issue with like a pack of Polaroids that I had, but it wasn't because like I wasn't allowed to bring it. They're like, yeah, these have to go through the X-ray and they're going to get fucked up. I'm like, man. So.
No, well, actually, this last time I went to Japan, well, no, the second time, you got me that, like, nice film, the Pum Pum Porn film, and I was scared because they made me put it through the X-ray, too, and it was fine. All the film was fine.
No, I ended up just throwing it out there. Because they told me that it was going to mess it up, and I'm like, man, and I wasn't going to
It only goes for a quick second. It didn't mess mine up at all.
Man, I'm salty.
I guess that for a water bottle, but that's because I had no idea you couldn't bring.
And you were a
water
thirsty
bottles.
boy.
Yeah, well, diabetes does that. Thank you very much.
You get that cotton mouth.
That too.
There was one time I got stopped. It was the first time we went to Japan where I got stopped in Canada, and then it was funny enough that I was like because everyone on the flight was Canadian, so I was like one of if not the only brown boy on the whole flight.
And he was like looking a little oily after that like long ass flight, so he was extra brown.
Yeah, I was smelling sour. We were walking back, and then they're like, "Are you Omar?" Yeah, what's up?
Like, yes,
And then they're like, is this your bag? I said, yes. And then they said, can you...
They put you in
the chest. And then they're like, can you come with us? And then I look at Jam, I'm like, well, I'm never going to see her again.
That was fun.
That was fun while it lasted. So then they took me into another room, and then they asked if I have any food in the suitcase. I'm like, no, none at all. And they put it through the x-ray machine. They're like, do you have candy? I'm like, yeah, a lot. And then they laughed and they gave me my suitcase back. But I guess it set off like either like the dogs or something because of how much candy I had.
Like it was a whole suitcase of candy. Like
So-
a whole suitcase
I've
of
been
chips
on-
and different stuff.
I've been on one flight as quote adult, and it was weird because I've never really had to go through an airport like on my own. I was with a friend, but it was pretty strange because I've always been with my parents. They've always told me, you know, I was always asleep on the car right there in the waiting area, whatever. So this guy who was in like we were all going through TSA, and he was in the other lane. So, like, he was in a different line. They pulled out a power tool. It had to have been, like, a circular saw, but without the saw. But you knew it was somewhere else. Like, he had it. And they were like, yeah, you can't take this. And he's like, really? And
was it like a cordless one?
It had the cord.
Oh, wait, okay.
So he was bringing a power tool with him on the flight. And I'm like, man, at any point, did you think maybe they're not going to let this in?
Yeah.
Because this was a big 20-pound, like, handheld circular saw. And I'm like, ugh.
One of my guilty pleasures that's, like, just a stupid thing I like to indulge and turn my brain off to is those like airport security shows that are on Netflix. Have you guys ever watched those?
No.
That shit gets wild.
Dude, I watch so many, and it's most like they take place in different countries, and it's mostly people like, hey, you can't bring an apple into the country. I'm like, this show's so fun.
Or it's like people that because you can't like transport tobacco or something. People trying to bring like 200 cigarettes from India. Like for what?
Yeah.
Just buy your Nickies here.
But I thought I was going to get arrested during this time because where me and my friend went to Colorado basically to go smoke for like a whole weekend and just hike the mountains and go see a hockey game. We had like, it was like 9 or 12 joints rolled up. And we're like, okay, our flight's in about an hour. We got to catch this train in just like 30 minutes. So we have 30 minutes to smoke all this, and we couldn't do it. We couldn't. We were like, man.
Started throwing up.
So we were like, we absolutely can, but we had no time. We had 30 minutes, and between the two of us, like, just trying to get to the fucking train station was
How fast can you eat them?
Okay, so we didn't eat them.
That would have been bad.
What ended up happening is we had like 6 of them left. We ended up giving them to like some homeless people that were like by the train station, and they're like, "Wow, man, this is great." And they're like, "Thank you so much. Like, you didn't have to be." And we're like, we're not really being that nice. Like, we just can't take this with us.
Yeah.
So like, we're not gonna throw it out. So here you go. You know, you can have it.
That's funny.
So we're in line at the airport to get onto like our flight. He's like, "Hey, guess what?" And I look over to him, and he had rolled up one of the joints inside of like the string in his hoodie. And I was like, what are you doing? Like,
no.
I'm looking around. I'm like, no, dude, like, no. And he's like, no, I got this. And
you're like, I'm not with you on this flight.
And I told him that, I'm like, do you realize that if you get arrested, like, we don't know each other. Like, I can't afford to get arrested. At that moment in time, I couldn't afford to get arrested. You know?
Now you can?
And now, now I can. Now I can.
Oh, hell yeah.
I can afford to get arrested. But at the time, I'm like, no, dude, like, I need to go back.
It's
like,
a good thing the cops are on their way now.
That was fun. He ended up getting through. He got on the flight with the joints rolled up in his sweater. But like by the end of the flight, when we landed in Chicago, the whole plane smelled like weed, and it was coming straight from this dude. And I'm like, oh man, like someone's gonna say something.
But
like,
I mean, I'm sure they're used to that from planes from Colorado. Like they're like, every plane that comes from Colorado smells like weed.
But the smell got unlocked somehow. So like it didn't smell like it at first.
Oh, like
it wasn't until we landed.
Could the paper have like torn or something, and maybe just the stank.
I just remember like we got on to the tarmac, whatever it's called, and we were all getting up, grabbing our luggage, and I'm looking around. I'm like, Rob,
why is it so loud in here?
Rob, it's loud, dude. Like you can smell that. And he's like, yeah, I know. Like, don't worry, we're gonna be out here soon. And then like all the people are looking around, like trying to pinpoint where the smell is coming from, and I'm like, oh man, we're gonna get arrested. Like, I'm gonna have to call my mom and tell them to like come bail me out for smuggling, because that has to be a federal offense. And I'm like, oh, so it ended up we were fine.
No one said anything.
That was fun. It's too much of a risk to take for 2 joints. Like it's not worth it. It absolutely was not worth it. But
that's funny. Speaking of like airplane type stuff, I was gonna bring the story up, but then I read it and it was like a non-story. So the gist of it is that some pilot recently got grounded for life, so they can't fly anymore.
Oh,
which sounds funny.
Yeah.
They're actually in trouble, so it kind of makes sense too, because they let some girl take a picture in the cockpit, like sitting down at the plane, like light to see all the lights and stuff. And so she asked if she could take a picture there, and he took her picture. She uploaded it, and then he got in trouble because you can't let anyone in there.
Oh, well, there was this other thing. This is like also super quick. A lady using a bathroom in business class. She went in, and on her way in, she saw, maybe she was in first class, but the point is she could see, like, the pilot had, like, an iPad or a little tablet on, like, close to them. And she could see something, and she's like, oh, I wonder what he's watching. And once she got in, she realized that was the bathroom, like a little hidden camera in the bathroom. And that she, like, before she, like, was able to, like, unbutton her pants and sit down, that she, like, went out and she talked to, like, one of the stewardesses saying, like, I think there's a camera. What's that all about? And that the stewardesses were under the impression that, because the pilot set them up, so they all thought that it was like some kind of security measure or something that, you know, because they all trust the pilot, everyone's going to believe him. And so even they were like under the impression that, no, it's okay, like go ahead, use it. But, you know, come to find out, she like ended up contacting like the head of like that airline or some shit, and they landed the plane at not at its destination.
Yeah.
And they ended up like arresting the guy.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Because there's fucking kids in there too, dude.
Yeah. That's weird.
Yeah.
What the hell?
It reminds me of remember one of our very early stories where someone was live tweeting a man masturbating next to them on a plane?
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite stories that we've ever done. And now, let's move to our next story, which will be just as good as that one, right, Alan?
I hope so.
Oh, thank God you didn't say me.
You were stretching, so I thought you weren't ready.
Also, there was that one time at TSA where she stopped me and she was like, you know, patting me down. She made me take down my hair and was like running her fingers through it.
You're looking real pretty.
And then she put her 2 index fingers inside my pants, went around it, so she touched like my stomach, my hips, and like my butt crack. And she just kept like patting like the insides of my thighs. And because I guess like on like that body scan thing, she saw that I had like something on my crotch, and I'm like, oh, that's my pad because I'm on my period.
She's like, you can't be doing that.
Yeah, and then she was like, okay.
It's like, ma'am, can you stop that, please?
I was like,
that's strange, dude.
But she didn't even pull me into another room. She just literally was just like,
I think the weirdest thing, the weirdest thing that I've heard about, this was back when I was like still working in Six Flags, because I remember hearing on the radio real quick before I get into the story. They stopped this girl after she went through like the body scan. She got stopped. She was like a 14 or 15-year-old girl. And she ended up telling the TSA people, like, it's my nipple piercings, like, that's what's setting it off. And, like, the dad found out.
Oh, yeah, right? I remember that. Yeah, that's how her dad found out that she got her nipples pierced.
Man.
Why wouldn't she take them out?
Because they
were brand new.
They'll close up, yeah.
It's her own fault.
It's not like she had them for a couple years. Like, that's...
Yeah, she
had
just got them, and that was how her dad
I think nipple piercings are tasteless, to be completely honest.
They taste like pennies.
nipples.
Yeah, I was going to say, how do you know how they taste?
I meant, like, I don't think they've ever looked good on anyone.
Someone told me that, and it's absolutely true, like, when you taste nipple piercings, they taste like a 98 Honda Civic car key. That's funny as hell.
Wait,
and it's true?
weren't you guys the ones who were talking about someone piercing their nipples and then they fell off? Was that one of you guys?
There's probably one listener who's like,
remember
no,
that.
yeah, episode 31. You guys were talking about.
Yeah, you know what see, okay.
Oh, no, you're talking about when she took out her piercing to clean her nipple, and then she pulled, like, a little fiber, and it was, like, her nerve.
Yeah.
And she,
she passed out. Yeah, that's right.
Oh.
That was
he had a 3-inch tweezer in his urethra.
Alright, so let me start the story off with a question. If you were to get arrested, what do you think your crime would have been?
My crime?
Everybody's.
Honestly, my crime is going to be tax evasion, because I haven't paid taxes on this show.
And we make a lot of money on this show, too.
Yeah, with all my millions of fans.
What about you?
Probably being an asshole. I'm an asshole to cops. I feel bad for it, but I'm still here.
So you think just like what?
I remember Erik.
Because like people like they'll talk to me and like I don't do it on purpose, but like when someone's being like a dick to me, and that's usually how cops like not act.
They talk
but,
to
like,
you condescendingly.
Yeah, they talk like I'm doing something wrong. Like I talk back like bogus as hell.
Erik was telling me a story like just the other day. He's like, yeah, I got pulled. He was telling me a story about how he got pulled over like back at home, and he's like, yeah, I was kind of an asshole, that cop. I'm actually surprised he didn't like pull me out of the car.
Like, pull me out of it.
Wait, can you tell us that story?
Well, no, he pulled me over because my plates were like 6 months expired.
Erik,
He's like, he was like, you know why I pulled you over? I was like, it's probably my plates, right? He's like, yeah. I was like, yeah, that's what I figured. He's like, were you not gonna get it? I was like, I was like, I don't live out here. I just figured like I would do it when I go back home, but I don't have back. I was still trying to talk to him about like what I was doing. I was like, I'm going home soon. I was gonna get him. He's like, yeah, that doesn't matter. I was like, oh, I know it doesn't matter to you. I was like, I know. I was like, you guys don't care.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm gonna get it, but I know why you pulled me over. And then he's like, where do you work at? I was like, right over here. He's like, oh, you live out here? And I was like, yeah, I do. He's like, okay. He's like, I've seen you before. I was like, okay, so don't like try and question me. Like I'm not, because I told him I was from Chicago. I was around Chicago. But then he's like, where do you work? I was like, right over there. He's like, yeah, I've probably seen you there. I was like, okay. Don't try and psych me out.
It's like the Vista Hospital thing all over again. You ever been here before? No. It says here you have.
Why are you trying to trick me?
Yeah.
If you know the answer, why are you asking me a question?
Bro,
like, there's no reason.
But like
he's just trying to get some free coffee.
No, but even then, honestly, like, yeah, just because, like I said, when people talk to me like in that way, like they're trying to prove like that I'm doing something wrong, I can't take them serious.
Yeah, that's fun.
But like I said, that's probably what it'd be. I'd probably be that. Take it too far and get arrested for it.
When you get pulled over.
Yeah.
What a badass.
What about you?
Probably like money laundering, but not really knowing it. Just like
how would that happen?
I don't know. I probably just thought it was like a smart investment to like, oh, let me just move this money here on this day, and then this and this and this, and then turns out that's a crime.
You get in trouble for that? What if you don't tell anyone?
Then it's not a problem.
Well,
then that problem doesn't exist.
Yeah. Once we start selling stock because we're going to become a public company. We're going to be the only podcast to be a public company, but we'll have the insider information.
I mean,
where you
buy everyone out.
Yeah, I'm going to sell all my shares right before I announce that I'm like getting rid of the show.
Right before you announce you're bankrupt. Damn.
$10 a share, guys.
All right, what about you, Mario?
For being real, probably fighting.
Okay. Who are you going to fight?
Being a gangbanger?
No.
Throwing shit at a car?
Dude, that story had me crying. Dude, he said, dude, you have to go pick that up.
I think my favorite part where he said his friend like ran and he's like, he did it. I lost my shit.
I was driving and listening to that story and I was like, what did I just start listening to? He said, dude, I want to shit on your shirt. I was like,
it's like, can I get a new shirt? Like completely ignoring what he just asked.
I like how you didn't question that. You were just like, can I just get a new shirt then?
Well, it's because he had a drawer of cool shirts, and I was like,
do you still have that shirt?
No.
Was it worth it then?
Yes, it was still worth it because now I could tell the story.
Dude, they're gonna find me. You have to grab it.
The FBI.
Alright, so the reason why I ask is because there's this news article here by Brendan O'Brien. Iowa inmate sentenced to life argues he briefly died and should be released.
I heard about that. I think
that's how you get out of prison.
Yeah.
Though. If you actually like, if you die and you get brought back, you're
technically served a life sentence.
People who like have life. If you die, but they like can bring you back, that's your life sentence. Yeah.
How do you guys feel about that? Like, let's say
it all depends on the crime.
Okay, let's say someone killed 3 people. Well, they sentence you to death, right? Mm-hmm. You die. After they hang you, like maybe you've been in prison for like a year. And then they hang you, but you survive it. Should you be let go, or should you like serve like a couple more years before they're like, all right, well, you're fine.
No, because that counts as that. Well, because like I think the thing of what I'm thinking of is like I think someone got the chair and he survived it. So because he did like die from it, but somehow like came back, they were like, oh, that was his life sentence. Now we gotta let him go.
Same day you get let go is what you think should happen.
Yeah,
I feel like I don't feel like that's what should happen, but that's kind of
not saying that
playing
like
directly
people
into the
should
rules.
Be like, oh, if I'm here for life, all I have to do is die but get brought back. Like, not saying that that's what you do.
That makes sense.
But like, if something happens,
because then he'd be serving 2 life sentences.
Yeah,
which already is a charge.
People get 2 to 3 life sentences. Yeah. So if you die once,
Ghost has to stay in jail, dude.
I wondered that as a kid.
You're there for GERD, boys.
For GERD. So, an Iowa inmate sentenced to life without parole has unsuccessfully argued in court that he should be freed because he, quote, momentarily died and was resuscitated when he was in the hospital 4 years ago. The novel legal argument came to light this week when it appeared in the Court of Appeals of Iowa, and it was denied. Inmate Benjamin Schreiber, who has been in prison since he was convicted of murder in 1997.
Does it say what his actual sentence was?
Well, the actual sentence was life without parole, but he got sent to prison for bludgeoning somebody to death.
Jeez.
So
that's an intense one.
Yeah.
If it was just like a shot.
But
yeah, the bludgeoning's like personal.
Yeah.
Yeah, he says that when he was resuscitated by medical staff against his wishes, that he was sentenced to life without parole, quote, but not life plus 1 day. So that's his argument.
Well, that is true though, because if you get like probably not get mad, but if you're 50, you get 51 years, but then you die, and then that counts as the end of your life. You would have a year, maybe. No, because if you live to at least 100, like realistically, that's.
Yeah, but who lives to 100?
Dude,
That guy
Not in
from
prison. Not
that
in
thing I
prison.
sent you guys, where that guy turned 101, so Chick-fil-A gave him a free Chick-fil-A for life, and everyone was like, "Damn, y'all bogus." Because that dude probably
They
only
know what
has,
they're
like,
doing.
A year
my
left.
great grandpa is 98 and he's still slinging it around, boy.
Nice.
Truly.
He's still slinging that dick around.
Dude, yeah, actually.
That's what I thought you meant, but okay.
Actually, yeah. Like, he's been getting, like, these young thotties.
Whoa.
But, he
Hot
says
Cheetos
he
stains all
says
over their
he's,
fingers.
He says he's tired and that he's not sick or anything, but he's like, I'm ready to die. So when, like, the ofrenda that they put up at the house, he put his own picture up there. He's like, yeah, I'm ready. I'm just tired. I just want to leave.
Damn.
That's fucked
Which,
up.
that's badass, though.
it'd
Like,
be
he
like
wants
that
to go out.
sometimes.
Like, he outlived his whole family. Like, his wife, like, some of his
yeah.
kids.
And well, if he's at peace with it,
Yeah, like, he's ready.
That's
He's
one
like, I'm
thing,
about to dip
yeah.
out.
He said, I
never
I'm
met
gonna
him.
head out.
I'm about to
Sounds like
head
a
out,
cool
and he
guy,
just
though.
fades into existence.
Hell yeah, shout out to him.
Yeah, so
Yeah, he's a listener of the show.
This is the greatest show in San Luis de la Loma.
is that where? What's your uncle? La Puma.
El Puma?
El Puma.
That's where he's
yeah.
from too, yeah.
But that's pretty much the end of the story. His appeal fell through. The courts couldn't see this type of situation arising, but it wasn't going to change anything. He was taken to the hospital where he died, but he was resuscitated 5 times and needed surgery in order to bring him back. So
Yeah, so he served 5 life sentences. He's good.
Yeah, no, it's the law, man. He served a life sentence.
Yeah.
I should have let him go.
Speaking of bludgeoning, though,
Y'all ever beat your meat so hard that it bled?
no,
Yes.
no, what?
Really?
Yes.
Where did the blood come
I'm
from?
sorry I asked.
I did it too hard.
You-
Actually?
Yeah. And
Well, I feel like
ripped
you
a
could
piece
do
of
it if
skin.
I was gonna say. No.
No, because just yesterday we were talking about Mineta from My Hero when he pulls the balls off of his head too much, or if he sees something that like makes him super jealous, he'll start crying blood.
Hey man, since we're talking about Mineta, if you hate Mineta but you like Bakugo, go fuck yourself. Honestly.
I can't stand
Bakugo?
Bakugo. Hold on.
Bakugo?
Yeah, whatever, bitch
You're
ass.
talking about
I'm ashamed.
Katsuki Bakugo?
Yeah, dude. Fuck him,
Katsuki
dude.
Bakugo. First
Yeah,
of
that's
all,
what I said. Katsuki.
Oh.
Mineta's a piece of shit. And also, Bakugo
This is anime
has the
corner.
personality. Like his personality is dog shit. Like it really is.
Yeah,
It's-
so you can't-
I can't stand either
He
of them.
is the number 1 favorite character in Japan, though.
I know. Whatever. I don't want to talk about it. I'm gonna get so mad. Like it is something so much.
We'll talk about this on the Ouija Boys.
Okay, that's a good.
I thought that was
Episode
only
is
about
out
cheese.
last Saturday.
Saturday.
No, we should just say episode's out next Saturday. That Saturday never comes. Oh no! So I was asking about bludgeoning to death. But anyway, so when it comes to like, let's just put in the situation of like home defense. What would you guys use as your like preferred weapon if someone was breaking into your house?
A gun.
Do they have a
If
weapon?
I had
Do
the
they have?
But like
Train
realistically,
a gun.
that you know you can use.
Do they have a weapon? Like, do they have like
Well,
is there
I
a
don't know.
gun,
You
or are they
just
just
hear-
like there's like a couple of them?
It's just a creepy guy.
You just hear like a window open, and you got to get ready. Like what would you
I'll
use?
just fight them.
What would you have,
Just
like,
use your
I
fists.
just fight
what would you have, like,
Yeah.
under your bed or in your nightstand?
Yeah, but realistically,
Because you got to think about it from his point of view. Like if you're breaking into a house, like and the homeowner comes at you butt ass naked with his dick swinging out and going crazy.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. Yeah, I don't know about the naked thing, but even then, I mean, if I'm like asleep and wake up to someone coming in, then they just assume because I'm asleep and they're gonna be quiet. And
Yeah.
So
Get
let
in,
me ask you,
then
why
it's gonna-
didn't you fight Stephanie when she
Yeah.
because I was okay. I was okay. I was like, whatever.
why was your
You're like,
defense?
it's my time.
Yeah,
Why was your defense? Did you lock the door?
yeah. Because I just figured it. It was either her or something about to kill me like a demon.
Oh,
you
so you
can't
didn't-
fight demons.
You didn't.
Find out
You
demons.
didn't think it was anything physical.
Yeah.
Well, because like I said, like I don't know. I just if someone's gonna be quiet and is just assuming I won't notice them, then they're gonna be surprised when I come at them in general. So
I was gonna say,
So-
like, I probably use. We have this metal bat. It's like 2 feet, but it's a flashlight. But it's a very, very thick piece of metal. And
fuck that.
it's,
Well, I'm not trying to kill them. I'm just trying to hurt them. I guess.
well,
I think you have the right
yeah,
to kill
you
him.
have a
you
right
absolutely
to
like
kill
you'll
them.
never
Yeah.
you'll never have an opportunity to legally kill somebody for breaking into your home.
I don't know.
So to take advantage of that. Anyways,
Sounds like you want to just kill somebody.
Yeah, it sounds like you're trying to kill somebody.
Also, there's like that law in Florida. It's one of those like, you know, wacko laws where if you find your wife in bed with another man, you legally have the right to kill him.
I don't know if that's Florida. I think you're talking about the Philippines.
No, this is Florida.
Oh.
Baby.
Sounds like a Florida thing.
Yeah.
but it's so funny because that bat that I'm talking about, our fire. I don't know if you guys noticed yesterday, but our fire extinguisher or whatever it is that's hanging on like top of the stairs, it went off one night. It was like 4:30 in the morning.
Fire alarm.
Yes. What did I
The
say?
fire extinguisher?
I was
The actual
like,
thing
our fire.
there was
I'm
a
like-
fire extinguisher
Yeah, I'm
on
like,
the stairs?
what house
No.
has a fire extinguisher?
No, I'm just kidding. No, it was a fire alarm. So it went off. Me being like the lazy piece of shit that I am, all I did was like I hear it very clearly. I put my pillow over my head and I turn around. And I'm like, someone else will get it.
Yeah.
So it's going off for about 5 minutes, and this thing is fucking loud. And all I hear is a door open, and then like footsteps heading toward it, and then like some fumbling, and then walking back to the room, and then walking back, and then like all you hear. And I was like, what the fuck was that? And I like got up and I like opened my door and I look out and I see like a door close, and I look at the ceiling and like the fire extinguishers the alarm is hanging by a wire.
Oh my
And
god.
I remember asking.
That's safe.
So I remember I asked the next day.
Wait,
like,
are
what
you
was
sure it
that
wasn't
about?
the carbon monoxide detector?
Maybe. But the thing is, like, there was no fire, like, because
That's probably why you guys think you're experiencing ghosts.
Yeah, it's just like
Fucking
gas.
no, because we also have a CO2 or like the carbon, but it's not one of those that are. It's something that they bought from like Home Depot and they plug it into the.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's the
So
one.
that wasn't going off. No, this was like an old fire alarm. So
I just
I asked
see
the next day, I'm
batteries.
like, what the hell was that about? He's like, Sam went out and he tried to like turn it off, but he couldn't get it because it's such an old piece like shit. It should have been updated before they bought the house. But anyway, he couldn't figure it out, and in his half asleep mind, he comes out with that metal bat and just swings.
Smashes it.
But here's the thing: what's so funny is Sandra told me like she saw him do it. She didn't think he was gonna do it, but like he swung hard, but he missed. And she started laughing at him, and he said he felt really like embarrassed. But like the second time, he hit it pretty hard.
So he had something to prove.
Yeah.
That's funny. What about you, Mario? What would you use as your weapon of choice for breaking?
Well, if I can't use a gun,
I mean, you can, but do you have one?
No, not yet. Stephanie got me these.
Nunchucks?
No,
Hell
close, pretty close. They're like practice katanas, so they're like thick wood.
So they're not
You remember
real.
when
So they're not real. Is
You
what you're
remember when
saying.
fucking
They're like
Alex got Ivan a sword for Christmas?
I have the video of
that's
him
badass.
unboxing that sword.
Actually.
We should put that up for the next
Hell yeah.
this episode. We'll put up the video of Ivan receiving a katana as a
That's
gift.
pretty bad.
Dude, that, okay. That's,
My favorite videos right now are the ones where they'll like sheath the sword for like a second and then they'll throw fruit on the floor.
Oh,
Dude, that's the
yeah.
fucking best.
Like sliced up fruit.
So you'll just a blunt attack.
Yeah. So they're like practice ones that like dojos use. So they're like thick fucking wood and they fucking hurt. So I would probably use that.
Nice.
Just hit
I don't have that.
hit the
One
intruder
by
in
my
the
bed
shins.
and then one by my PC.
I remember once me and Omar went to Dick's Sporting Goods, and I was like, playing with the metal bats. I'm like, ooh, when we become homeowners, I'm gonna have one of these. And you're like, no, you're not, because it's gonna be so easy to take it from me. I'm like, what are you talking about? And then he just like swipes it out of my fucking hand, and I'm like,
I start
damn,
beating her in the
damn.
Mario. What you should do that would throw them off completely too. Is you grab yours, they walk into your room, grab the other one, and you toss it to
out.
them.
Yeah, see, I was thinking of doing that too because they're the same. One of them is a little smaller, and on the smaller one, I have the hilt that like protects you from another like sword from like swinging and cutting your hands. So on the bigger one, I don't have that on it, so I throw the bigger one at them. So if they tried swinging up, they'd hit the ceiling, and then I just like,
Jesus Christ.
And then it's over for them.
yeah, I've thought about it.
Big brain.
Do we have another story? We have room for one
I got
more.
an actual story.
Have it.
Let's do that. We had enough for that.
So this story involves the same two guys I mentioned last time.
All those class acts.
Yeah, dude. So at the time, I hadn't seen Nico in like forever, and me and V were hanging out, and I was just like, let's hit up Nico and see what he's doing.
Bring the gang back together.
Yeah, kind of thing. And he was like, okay. So he was at work. He's like, come pick me up at work around 11, and then we'll go do something. So we pick him up from work. He was like, hey, can we go to my friend's house and we can hang out there? I was like, sure, whatever. Let's go. So we go to this stranger's house, and we all just sit there, and they're like talking and blah blah blah. And then she brings out like a CD jewel case and puts it on the table, and then she starts putting lines of Coke on the jewel case.
I thought she was going to show you her mixtape.
No, I wish it was that. Coke freaks me. Anything other than weed freaks me out. So like, you
I know someone who's like that.
So you know how like big the jewel cases are? Like these lines of Coke from like the ends of the fucking, and they're just like, there's like 4 of them doing that, and they're like, "Oh, you want some?" I'm like, "No, thank you." And so they're doing Coke, and I'm like, "Oh, this fucking sucks." Like I wanted to go to his house and play Yu-Gi-Oh.
But they're doing Coke.
Yeah, but they're like doing Coke.
Oh, my heart.
So it's like 2 in the morning.
How old were you at this point, too?
Oh, this was like 2-3 years ago.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
And how old
I was
were
gonna
you?
say because Jewel wasn't out that long to be doing Coke lines off of it, like when you were 10. But
No, it wasn't that long ago. It was like Christmas time.
Oh, celebrating.
of course.
Yeah, I guess. So then it's like 2 in the morning. I'm like, hey man, can we just go? Like, I didn't want to come and do this. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not even talking to anybody. This is fucking lame. So he's like, okay, let's go. So we go back.
He starts running to your house.
We go back to his house, but instead of him walking into his house, he starts walking towards the alley, and I'm like, where are you going? He's like, no, it's cool, I just gotta pick something up, come on. And I'm like, I know this alley, and I don't want to be in this alley.
He's throwing a shitty t-shirt in this alley.
Oh, it was the alley across from that one.
Oh, shit.
And he was like, nah, come on, it's fine. I'm like, whatever, man. So we start walking, and then there's this big, tall dude leaning on the car. He says, what's up to Nico? Like, they shake hands or whatever. Then he says, me and V walking behind Nico, and he's like, hey, take your hands out your pockets. Because we're walking like this.
Yeah, it's Christmas. It's cold.
Yeah, it's cold. So our hands are in our, like, hoodie pockets. And I'm like, what? He's like, take your hands out your pockets. I'm like, all right, we're cool. Like, I'm fine. Like, we're good.
Yeah.
And take my hands out of my pockets. But V does not. V's a little man. And whenever he gets challenged, he feels the need to, like...
Prove himself.
Yeah, prove himself. So he's like,
Is that
nah.
little man syndrome?
Masculinity's so fucking toxic, guys.
So he's like, nah, I'm good. He's like, nah, I need you to take your hands out your fucking pockets. He's like, I'm not going to do that. And normally, I'd be on V's side, right? Who the fuck is this guy telling him to take his hands out of his pocket? We'll beat his ass. But I know this alley.
Yeah.
I know this neighborhood, and this neighborhood is predominantly Mexican. This guy was a big black guy.
So he's not from there.
So him being there this late at night, it's like 2:30 in the morning, and asking us to take our hands out of our pockets was already like a big red flag for me.
Yeah.
And he's like, there's something fishy about it. So like, I didn't do anything. I was just like, I showed him my hands, and then V's not doing it. I'm like, V, please just take your hands out of your pocket. He's like, no, I'm not going to let this guy talk to me like that. I'm like, any other day, this would have been fine. But right now, this is not fine. Like,
yeah.
bleep the gang out.
Okay.
I was like, this is predominantly territory. Like, they're all Hispanic.
Yeah.
This is a black man running this shit. Take your hands out your pocket.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm not going to do that.
You're like, God damn it, I just wanted to play Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah. So dude lifts his hoodie up, and he's got a gun in there, and he grabs the gun, and he's like, I need you to take your hands out your pocket. And I'm like, oh, this is it.
You're like, this is where I'm going to die.
My biggest thing is, I don't think I fear death. What I fear is being a statistic. I don't want to die by crossfire, gang-related stuff, or car accident. I'm about to die from stupid fucking crossfire and gang-related shit.
All
like
at once?
Yeah, all at once, and this is fucking stupid. And V sees the gun, and he's like, I'm not gonna do it.
Oh my god.
Oh, no.
My hands are sweating,
Motherfucker.
dude.
You should have said, can I just leave?
Yeah, I was like, I'm fucking leaving, dog. And so I guess there's like a camera on the garage that this guy's standing in front of, and like 3 or 4 guys come running from behind of the garage, and they start running up to me and V because they're cool with Nico, but they're not cool with us. So they're like, "What's up, B? What you got? Like, what you ride for?" Da da da. I'm like, whoa, chill, dog. Like, we're fine. Like, he's like, nah. What? He was just asking us like what our gang was. You know that whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It was getting fucking wild, and I'm like, oh shit.
He's like, you ever heard of crunchy roll?
I was fucking tripping. I was like, oh fuck, I'm not gonna win this fight. Like, this guy's got a gun. I don't know what weapon these guys have, but there's 4 of them, and I have to fucking defend myself because this fucking asshole.
You're like, you know what, guys? I'm gonna kick his ass for you.
Yeah, that was my mentality. I was like, I'm gonna beat his fucking ass in front of them. Maybe I'll survive this night.
Yeah. Like, man, this guy's so cool.
And so one specific guy runs up to V, or he runs up to me, and he sees that I have my hands out. And obviously the problem causer is over there. So he goes up to him, and he starts pushing V, and V, like, pushes him back. And I'm like, oh, shit, here we go.
I thought he was going to pull an Orange Cassidy and fight with his hands in his pockets.
That would have been badass.
Just so he's like, no, I'm not taking my hands out of my pockets.
God, man.
What if he took his hands out in his pockets or, like, on his hands?
He was wearing like hand pockets.
He's wearing mittens.
Mittens, they're just hand pockets.
Truly.
All right, but go on. So
Yeah. So I thought shit was about to go down right here, and we were about to throw down. But then one more guy comes from behind, and then he's like, "Hey, chill out." And the dudes back up. Like, all four of the dudes back up.
Oh, Big Boss walked out.
Yeah, the big boss walked out. And then he shakes up with Nico, and then he comes up to me and V, and then he's like, hey, you guys cool with Nico? And I was like, yeah, we're cool with him, because that's like my brother. So if you guys are like cool with him, you're cool with me. And I'm like, yeah, man, like, we're cool. And then one of the guys from the back who wanted to fight V starts like saying shit. And he's like, hey, want to tell you to shut up, you shut up.
Jesus.
Yeah.
I just imagine, I don't know why, but I'm imagining him looking like from Ninja Turtle, the guy that runs like the Foot Clan. Shredder. I'm just imagining Shredder walk out the back.
He looked like Erik, but like
hell yeah.
super dark skin. He was like Dominican or something, so he was like a really dark skinned Dominican guy.
Did he have like a nice little gold chain?
No, he looked bummy. So it was like really weird.
Oh, those are the ones you gotta be afraid of.
So he was like, did you see that? Whenever I say something, that's how it goes. So if you guys are cool with him, you're cool with me. And I was like, all right, man, like, we're good. Like, everything's good. He was like, all right, why don't you come inside and we'll hang out? And in my head, I'm like, no.
You're like, I gotta
fucking go. Like, we're outside right now. They got cameras, so that must mean whatever can happen inside, no one's gonna find out.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, he can seem cool now.
Right, but inside.
Yeah, who the fuck knows what it's like inside? And I'm just like, nah, I'm good. I think I'm actually gonna go. And then he like grabs me like this over and then he like
gives you that whole nonsense that you're coming.
Yeah, you're coming. Like, you're gonna come hang out with me. And I'm like, well, this is the night I'm gonna die, huh? And it's because this fucking idiot over here. And then as we're walking, he's like, you like doing coke? I'm like, no,
I do not actually.
He was like, well, we'll find something for you. So I'm like tripping balls, and we go inside the garage where all these guys came out of, and there's like table, and there's like a bunch of drugs, there's like guns on the table.
Oh my god.
Then there's like a bed on the side with like a hoochie on there. There's like a
they had their own hoochie?
Yeah, they had two hoochies. One was on the bed, one was on the couch. And then I saw like they had like a big screen TV with like 6 panels, and they were all different angles of the alley.
Oh,
so if like a cop would come through the alley, they would see.
Yeah, they're like, man,
and this was all in a garage.
All in a garage.
They're like, you guys should have seen this a few years ago. We saw some kid throwing shit onto a windshield.
It was cold as fuck in there.
Damn.
Yeah, and so
we should get a hoochie for the show.
He was like, yeah, so this is where I saw all the commotion coming out and blah blah blah.
I'm gonna kill myself.
And I was like, yeah, man, that's cool. He's like, relax, man. Nothing's gonna happen. We're gonna have fun now.
Oh,
now the fun's starting. And I'm just like, man, I am so uncomfortable. This is the worst night. And like, it kind of got better after that.
Well, he's like, here, come look at. He's like, come look at my stash. And he opens the box, and it's like
he was like,
cards.
No,
he's like, this is my favorite one.
He was like,
oh, I know what you'll like.
He like kept offering us drinks and like weed and all this other shit, and I'm like, I need to stay in a solid state of mind for this and everything. And the guy who was outside, who like threatened us with a gun, he was like really cool now. He's like, hey, you want to see something tight? And I was like,
starts doing skateboard tricks.
I guess so. So he runs into his house.
He runs into the wall,
and then he runs in the house, and then he comes back like this, and he's just full of puppies.
What the?
Full fucking
pit bull puppies.
Yeah, pit bull puppies.
I fucking knew it.
It's full of pit bulls. And he's like, yeah, man, this one's like a pure breed. This is like $3,000. You want to buy one? I'm like,
oh my god.
No. He's like, here, you can hold one. And he gives me a puppy. And I'm like, it's not that bad of a night. I got to hold this little puppy. And then I'm trying to like come up with any fucking excuse to get out of here.
Dude, my mom's calling me. I gotta go.
And I was like, hey man, I gotta take a shit. So, I'm trying to leave. And the guy with the puppy's like, no, you can just go in my house. And I was like, fuck. So he takes me inside, and then there's this chick that comes out, and he's like, bitch, get out the fucking way. He has to use the bathroom.
Holy god.
And he was like, man, don't worry about it. That's just my girlfriend. I'm like, that's your fucking girlfriend.
That's where Mario got his inspiration.
Like, man, this guy's fucking cool.
He said, you can do that?
So I'm on the toilet, and I'm just like...
Did he actually poo?
No.
You're like, Santa Maria, por
I'm
favor.
like, how do I get out of here? Like, what excuse can I use to get out of here? I'm like, why don't I just walk out?
Yeah, just leave.
That's what I would have
just
said.
leave. And so I get out there. I'm like, hey man, I'm leaving. I gotta go. And they're like, nah, come on, man. We can party all night. And this was like 3:30 in the morning by now. And then I start walking out. And then V comes with me. And I'm like, Nico, are you coming? He's like, nah, I think I'm gonna party here. I'm like, all right. So I start. We leave. And then we get in the car. V's driving me back home. I was like, why the fuck did you not just take your fucking hands out of your pocket, man? I just don't like people talking to me like that. I'm like,
he had a gun.
I'm gonna beat the shit out of you. Like, this is fucking stupid.
Damn.
And yeah, that was that.
Oh my fuck.
Wow.
Oh, hold on. Before that, so Nico wanted to stay, but he walked us out. He walked me and V out, and then bleep this name out. The guy who came out was talking to us, right? And Nico was like, I guess he was like hyping me up. He was like, oh, this guy's in a fucking band. He plays music, blah, blah, blah. And then the guy is like, oh, really? I'm actually a music producer. You can find me on Facebook and bleep this out. Ask if any fucks with you, just tell him is cool with you and you're fine. And I'm like, all right. He's like, yeah, but check out my music. Maybe we could work together.
Oh, shit.
And I'm like,
I can't play drums.
I'm like,
and that's how we met Nelly.
all right. And I was like, okay. So then I went home. So fucking hell. And actually,
did you look it up?
I tried looking it up, but I couldn't find him. You could probably find him. If you find him, you'll see what I mean. Why he's like this really small, not intimidating guy at all.
Right, we're not gonna play any music or anything like that, so we'll do this for us later.
But so a few months ago, maybe like February, I met up with Nico, and I was like, "Yo, what happened to
That guy.
and everyone there?" He was like, "Oh, they all got locked up."
Oh yeah,
there was a giant raid in that neighborhood, and a bunch of like gangbangers got locked up from there.
Wow.
So I'm like, well,
I mean, I'm sure it was a matter of time.
Yeah, man.
Wow, that's crazy. I can't imagine what I would do in that situation. That'd be a lot for me.
I was a lot more chill than I thought I would be.
Really?
Because I've been in situations where like the guys come up to me and they're like, "Oh, what gang are you in?" Blah blah blah, and try to go crazy, and I'm just like, "Man, I'm not nothing like."
I think he died.
We have no.
Everybody saying rest in peace. Do they have his face on his t-shirt? Oh, he dead.
No, that is not him.
That's not him?
Oh, there's a different one then.
Maybe that's one of his homies.
But yeah, I think you just gotta really keep your cool, because if you look all panic, frantic,
frazzled,
yeah, then they'll notice that.
Oh,
and they'll fuck with you harder.
Yeah, I wouldn't do good in that situation.
That's why I think I'd be arrested. Back to your question, I think I'd be arrested for fighting, because you guys, I'd want to protect you guys.
Oh, what a
he
sweet
protects,
man!
But he also attacked. Truly.
And we'll protect all of our fans as long as you guys give us a nice 5-star rating on iTunes.
Whoa!
But for now, you guys can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at _TheSharkBoy. Mario, now that you're alive, where can people find you?
You find me on anything at PunkNap.
Hell yeah.
You can find me on Instagram, AlanZF1.
Before I tell you my handle, I remember as a kid looking outside the kitchen window, and there was this big fucking dude who would come out. He would like pull up all the fucking way in our driveway, and he would get off his car, present his hand to my dad. My dad would have to kiss his hand. You can find me at Instagram and Twitter at really_cool.
I want to talk about that after this.
Eric, where can people find you?
Child Protective Services had to come to my house before.
Was it a child care person that he had to kiss?
No.
Okay.
You can find me on Instagram at longtime.
Awesome. I'm glad I survived this episode. That's all I have. All right.
Well, if you see Jam, tell her happy birthday. You can catch her not leaving my house until she shits herself. Next Saturday when we drink it.
We'll talk about that next podcast. But until then, we'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.
Bye. Yep. Yeah.
That was cool.
I'm not doing that.